Essence Fest, good morning. How y'all feeling? Now, I know it's early, and I know it's humid, but we in the AC, so I'm going to ask y'all again. Essence Fest, how y'all feeling? Yeah. So I just want to get a quick vibe check in here. How many of y'all, show of hands, have seen at least one Tiny Desk concert? Okay, that's good. How many of y'all watch at least one Tiny Desk concert a week? That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate y'all. With that, my name is Bobby Carter. I am the host and series producer for the Tiny Desk concert. And yeah, thank y'all. I'm a product of an HBCU. I went to Jackson State University. I'm born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. I say all that to let y'all know that, you know, when it comes to the culture that we doing, like, the culture is behind it. You know what I mean? I come from where y'all come from, so I appreciate y'all checking us out. So Tiny Desk concerts and Essence Fest, we have a lot in common, especially this year, because when you think about the lineup, when you think about Tank and the Bangers, SWV, Usher, Uncle Charlie, they've all played classic Tiny Desk concerts. But there was one of those shows that changed everything. With that, y'all, I want y'all to make some noise, because what we did last year, we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of this guy's show, and he is right here. He is a son of New Orleans. He is a legend. He is an icon. He is a hip-hop giant. I want y'all to make some noise. Matter of fact, get on your feet for the one and only Juvenile. Yes, sir. So listen, there's a lot to get to, Juvie, but I want to start April 11th, 2023. It was a tweet by this guy named They Love Mike, and they tweeted you directly. And they said, Juvenile, we got to get you to play a Tiny Desk, man. And your response was, you want to say it? I can say it. Matter of fact, I'm going to say it. Go ahead.
Man, what the fuck is a Tiny Desk?
And no, by the way, he said, what the fuck is a Tiny Desk? And then he said, no, I'm not going to do it. Already. And what happened after that, Juvie?
Man, the Tiny Desk fan base tore me up. They tore me up. They attacked me. They started telling me all kind of stuff like, you know, you're making a big mistake if you don't go on Tiny Desk. You're not going. Nobody gonna never buy your records no more. I'm not supporting you no more. I was getting all kind of stuff. And my daughter, I got a call from my daughter, and she was like, "Daddy, you about to mess up. You about to ruin your career. You need to really do this."
Wow.
So shout out to all the fan base out there, man. Shout out to my dude Travis for pushing me up to doing it too, man.
Yeah. So between April and June, there was a slew of tweets. So once you found out what Tiny Desk was, after hundreds of thousands of tweets, you put out a call to action. You basically said, if this tweet gets 10,000 retweets, I'll consider.
Right.
And within less than a day, within hours.
I'm going to say an hour. I'm going to say an hour, bro.
Within an hour, it received 10, 15, 20 retweets. And I got a DM. And you were like, hey, I heard you the man to make this happen.
Yeah.
I said, maybe if you want to make it happen. And we got it done. But there was so much that happened in between. There's so many things that make the Tiny Desk, that made that show so special. But the way y'all strategized, the way y'all put the band together, who y'all got, that's what really made it special. So tell me a little bit about the plan and how y'all put the band together, how y'all get like John Baptiste to come from Paris.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
How did that go down?
Well, I had just saw John like a week before we actually left to go do the Tiny Desk. You know, we was recording a song together. So John said, hey, you know, you know, I know you haven't threw me an invitation, but if you're gonna do Tiny Desk, you know, I would love to. I would come down and do it with you. I'm like, for real? Like, you know, I'm like, for real, bro? You like, yeah, I'll come down. So, you know, we went to asking the fan base stuff like, who y'all think I should have with me? And the fans right out the gate said, Manny Fresh.
Yes.
Right out the gate,
yes.
Manny Fresh. I'm like, yeah, bro, I think that'll be the perfect.
Make some noise for Manny Fresh, y'all.
Yeah.
The sound of Cash Money.
So when they said Manny Fresh, a bell rung in my head like, you know what? If I'm gonna bring Manny Fresh and we're gonna do this live band thing, right? Let me bring my dude who really does this live band thing all the time, Trombone Shorty. So including Trombone Shorty was like, that was like another no-brainer. And the fact that he came down from New York also to make that happen, that was like one of those, I can't explain it. It was something that week, everything fell in the right place. You know, like they say, something like that, everything has to be right for it to work out. That was just one of the perfect events that happened in my life. And everything is going good with me right now because of that.
Everything is going good. It's going good for you. It's going great for us, too. But also, you know, you had John, you know, shout out my boy Alvin.
Yeah.
But y'all came with the Dickie suits, the soldier rags. Like, how many people in here are from New Orleans, y'all? How many people in here? I asked because I've been to the city a couple times since, and when I bring up your show, the people, that was the secret sauce. That was what the first Tiny Desk ever, where the star of the show was the city. When you hear it, when you see it, it's a dedication to New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to lift the veil a little bit. How much rehearsal time did you put into that leading up to when you first got to us?
We rehearsed at home by Trombone Shorty Studio. Once again, shout out to him for letting us use his place. We rehearsed maybe 1 or 2 times, but we actually did a real rehearsal when we got there. And you saw how it was.
Yeah.
The rehearsal was kind of like a concert a little bit also. We was partying, bro. It was
Definitely partying.
Yeah, but you know, we rehearse maybe 2 or 3 times, but it's never like actually doing it live. You know, rehearsal is rehearsal.
That's really important to know, because if you've seen the show, that show to me as a producer was kind of like walking a tightrope, because the building was buzzing. If you all don't know, basically most of the people the audience that you all hear, that's just people who work at NPR.
Yeah.
It's all NPR staff. I know a lot of people hit me like, how can I get tickets? It's just a treat for people who work there, and if you happen to know somebody who works there, you might get in. So I say all that to say, the building was buzzing. You know, once you tweeted out that it was finally happening and we were doing it for Black Music Month, you know, everybody was trying to get into the show. And it's a small space. It's a very small space.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's small. The audience is 2, 3, 4 feet away. And it's just an energy exchange. So after rehearsal, you know what? I want to ask you a question, because plenty of artists have told me this after they perform. Were you nervous?
You know what? I think the years of experience and me starting off, you know, being an MC in a club, big mans and Newtons like that, I think that kind of like, it helped me out. Because when I do stuff like that on TV, I'm never nervous for some apparent reason. I get nervous at events, other people's events, like weddings and stuff like that. I get nervous at that. But when I'm actually on stage and got a mic, I'm never nervous. I don't know why.
Those juvie juices didn't hurt either. The juvie juices were the juvie juices were flowing that day.
Yeah. I think I was the first person on juvie on there with my own drink too.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was your own. That's how we got it through, because it was your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I appreciate that too, man.
I want to talk about how we put the set together, because people don't realize, and we actually left some songs on the tape. We could have gone another 20, 30 minutes.
The crazy part about that was, and I don't think people know, they told us we only had 15 minutes, something like that.
15 minutes. Tiny Desk, our rule is We got 15 minutes to do the show, but what we end up doing?
I think we went 30 minutes, me and Manny Fresh. Then we did an encore. We broke all the rules, man.
But that's what speaks to the energy of the room. I have been part of pretty much every Tiny Desk. We filmed about 1,200 Tiny Desks at this point, and there has never been an energy in that room like we had last year.
That was crazy.
So much so, my job, like I said, I'm like, it's like walking a tightrope because now my people looking at me like, we had 17, 20 minutes, but I'm like, look at this crowd. I'm like, look at Juvie. So, at some point we just kind of let it go. But then, like you said, you brought it up a minute ago, another first. We had an encore.
Yeah.
We had an encore. I just want to make sure, has everybody seen that Tiny Desk in here, by the way? Because after we did back that ass up, we start to fade out, and I'm like, woo, we made it. And one voice in the crowd was like, do it again.
Then Manny Fresh said, oh, y'all want an encore? And ran out in the crowd.
And I'm like, but Juvie's like, well, fuck it, let's keep it going. And
That shit going.
And then that's when it just got out of control in the best way possible. Unbelievable show. It's a first. But you and I have had a couple conversations since that has happened. I want to talk about the aftermath. Once that show comes out, what happens in your life, in your career?
First of all, my followers go up on Instagram. I think I got like 100,000, maybe 100,000, 200 extra followers on Twitter, Instagram, everything. And the phone just went crazy. It's like when you win a Grammy or a Super Bowl or something like that. The phone just went crazy. Tours, shows, appearances, everybody tried to get a piece of Juvie. And at first, we was the Tiny Desk Band. We couldn't run with the Tiny Desk Band with the title. But I mean, even right now, the Essence, this is my second year in Essence in a row. I don't know if artists do Essence consecutive years, but I've been in Essence consecutive years. And it's been crazy since that day, man. Just nonstop traveling on the road, doing shows and events.
For us, for as much as it is done for you, it's really changed what we've done at the Tiny Desk. Obviously, a lot of your peers, they want to come in and try to duplicate the experience. But I tell people all the time, like, don't try to duplicate that because there's never been a story like that before.
Hey, right, look, a lot of cats gonna come on there, and like Run DMC says, a lot of cats gonna come on this stage tonight, but this is my house. So if you come to Tiny Desk, you won't try to outdo Juve, know what you're getting yourself into. And if you do outdo me, just know I'm coming back. I'm coming back, homie, for the title, homie.
You heard it here first.
And look, I got something else I want to tell everybody that's here since I got y'all all here. If y'all want to see that Tiny Desk Band and see that performance, the same performance again, y'all can see us today at the Donna Color Explosion right there by the brewery, Urban South Brewery. Me, Manny Fresh, Turk, BG is coming through. I don't know if he's performing. And with the live band, and we're going to cut up. We're going to turn up.
Listen, they're taking this Tiny Desk experience all over. While we got a couple minutes left, I was dead set on making sure if I had any conversation with anybody here at Essence Fest in New Orleans, it had to be you. We talked about the city of New Orleans, but when I've been with you, I've seen people come up to you and just really kind of share their emotions and share with you just how much you mean to them. Yep. When we talked about the band earlier, when you said that John Baptiste said, man, I'll come do it, it's nothing. He came, literally John Baptiste came from Paris, flew into the Tiny Desk, flew right back to Paris.
Yeah, flew right back.
So when I was talking to Alvin, they all have that thing in common, and we were in the back, and you seem a little bit uneasy with it, but you are a hero to these, specifically for the people in New Orleans, but we'll talk about hip hop and music as a whole, but you are a hero. These people said they would drop anything to be a part of, if you call, they said they're willing to drop anything, man.
Yeah, man, and that's a blessing, man, to have somebody say things like that. Feel like maybe I did some things right in life. But that hero word, that's just a big word to me. Because when you say things like that, I think of firemen and people that's putting their life on the line for other people like that. I think about the servicemen and stuff like that. So, when you say hero, that word just don't.
No, I get that. I get that.
So
we'll just stick with legend.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I like that one.
Take that one. What we do at the Tiny Desk, when you look at how we line up, specifically hip hop, obviously we bring in emerging artists, we bring in people that you've never heard before, but we put a lot of effort into honoring the legacy acts. And what we try to do specifically is remind people, it's one thing to bring an artist to the Tiny Desk and have them perform, but it's up to the artist to deliver. We can't perform. We just provide the platform. But what we do with like SWV recently, what we did with Shaka Khan recently, that's just a reminder of the greatness. You know what I mean? We are just here to remind people of the greatness.
Not just that, bro. Y'all using y'all platform and y'all give people like me that's kind of like out of the game trying to find his way back in. You give us opportunities, like you breathe life into a lot of artists. That's why I felt like it was real good to have Scarface on there. Because, Scarface is my guy.
Absolutely.
And I always told him, like, man, you play guitars and stuff like that. The world need to see that. And it was the same thing for me. I was doing all these shows and doing all these tours, and most of the shows was DJ shows. And I'm saying to myself, and I'm like, damn, I wonder if my fans really know I can really sing these songs for real. And that's what y'all gave me. Y'all gave me the opportunity to let my fans really see me in the right light where I wanted them to see me. So I thank y'all for that, man.
No, thank you, man. Thank you. Y'all make some noise for Julie.
Yeah.
But the reason I talk about the legacy acts is the musicality. Like, say what you want about music today versus what's happened in the 90s and the 2000s, but there's a difference. Like whatever you want, but those Manny tracks, like it took a long time for y'all to arrange that. It's the musicality of those songs, man. Yeah. It took y'all put a lot of work into that. Scarface, like to see him, he's a real musician, man. But the thing that I love, one of the things I love most about the set is like, you're an MC and you don't get enough credit as an MC. I know we talk about East Coast rappers and West Coast rappers, but like, Southern MCs don't get the credit that they're due. That's why you see it. That's why I'm gonna put a Scarface on there. I'm gonna put a Juvenile on there.
Right, bro. It's been that way for some apparent reason. Because one thing about the South, we don't have that hatred, right? We have that Southern hospitality. So we listen to East Coast music, West Coast music. We don't care where you're from in the world. We listen to everybody's music. And for some strange reason, everybody else, and I'm not gonna say coasts, but everybody else, they just didn't want to give us our flowers lyrically. I don't know why, but you had cats like Scarface that been on fire with the lyrics, and you had Outkast on fire, you know what I mean? Then we came, No Limit, everybody came, and it took a minute before they started really giving us credit about the lyrics, and still today we still don't get. They not ranking us in that top 10.
Well, they gonna rank. If you saw that Tiny, they gonna rank you there. I don't care what your.
I got that though.
Let me tell you something, man. If you were outside in the '90s, like when Hot dropped, you've never heard a song like that ever. It was one of those most original songs ever recorded. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we ain't got to talk about that. Back that ass up. I mean. Song is 25 years old at this point, ain't it?
Yeah.
And I'm a DJ. I can't do any party. And no DJ, whoever the DJ, ask that DJ, you ain't doing no party without Back That Ass Up. You can forget about it. Before we go, though, I want to talk about your legacy, man. You've been in it for a very, very long time, man. And I don't know if anybody saw the concert with Cash Money the other day. But you had a lot on your back, bro. Let's just keep it real. I mean, you hit after hit during Cash Money and then after Cash Money. You did a whole nother line of hits.
Well, I'm gonna give a little, I'm gonna be a little easy on Jeezy. 12 years, it's kind of hard to get out and come back on the stage, right? And get, so, you know, that performance in the Superdome to me was kind of like their coming out party, right? Like, 'cause Bird ain't been on stage in a long time either. So it was kind of like practice for them, but for me, I feel like I had to back them up, you feel me? So I try to play my part as much as I can because my guy's been away for a minute.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you know, if you weren't in the South and you were just an average hip hop listener, our introduction to Cash Money was you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was only right to see you hold it down like that.
It was fun, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it was fun. That stage in the Superdome, man, that was a crazy stage. Feel like I was walking all day from side to side, but it was fun. It's fun as hell. Can't lie.
Well, you are the epitome of humility and being humble. But I just want to say, on behalf of everybody here and all your fans, man, you're one of the greatest MCs in hip hop of all time, man. And I want you to know that. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, y'all. Everybody up to your feet, y'all. Y'all make some noise for Juvenile. On your feet, y'all. On your feet. Y'all make some noise for Juvie. The one and only.
Hey, man, appreciate you, brother.